Hey.
We'll just give it a couple minutes to make sure everyone is able to get in that's wanting to. Lisa, do you want to just put in the chat if you're able to hear me?
And I just resent the link to a couple of people, so.
Okay, perfect. All right, perfect. So what we're going to do is we are going to go ahead and get started so that we're mindful of everyone's time. Does everyone have a FloDesk set up for themselves, or at least like a login created?
Yes.
Okay. So what we're going to do is for today, everyone kind of understands the purpose of why we're here for using FloDesk, whether it is for setting up emails or for setting up a landing page for us to basically be getting more visibility. So I'm not going to go into the whys of why we're here. I'm just going to go right into it so that way we can get set up. So if you do have an account, go ahead and click on the login button. I had asked that you log in, create yourself an account. They do offer the first month free. And then also after that, you are able to continue on at like the 50% discount if you had used the code that I had shared with you or the link that I had shared with you. So one of the biggest benefits that I love about FloDesk before, in comparison, I guess, to MailChimp is the way that it flows, as well as how easy it is visually appealing, as well as it's very just kind of flows one step after the next. So if you're logging in for the first time, we're going to do this simultaneously. So the same way that I would be setting up the FloDesk account, I want you guys to go in and do this at the same time. And then if you have any questions, since this is a smaller group, we can go ahead and ask those questions as we go through. So in the top right corner, if you're able to see my screen here, it will have like an icon or a logo if you've already uploaded one in. If you haven't, you can go ahead and we'll show you how to do that soon. So we'll go ahead and start with the overview. So this will basically be just your account details. The first thing I always recommend is set your time zone because this will determine how your mailing list is going to be sent out, as well as it'll be based off of that. So go ahead and set your time zone to wherever you are and just be mindful of the different time zones that are available. Your password is there. And then now the next thing, we're just going to go straight down the list on the left. So the next thing is your email setup. So with FloDesk, you have the option of sending 2 different email addresses. So if you have multiple businesses, or if you have maybe one personal mailing list and one business one, this is a great way to be able to add it in. So for example, if you saw in the overview, the account email that I have, initially I had this as one of my senders, but I've actually now just recently changed it where I have the Belly and Beyond as one sender, and then the other one is Healing Oilistic. So depending on my businesses, when we get to the email setup, you'll have the option of sending it from either of these 2 emails. And one of the things is you'll see this green verified circle. So this is because my domain has been verified. So if you have a website set up, or if you have a domain that's purchased, regardless of whether the website is set up or not, you will have the option to verify your email domain. So for example, mine is the Belly and Beyond. I use Google domains, whether you use GoDaddy or if you use Bluehost, any of those, it will then give you instructions on how to authenticate and verify that domain. Basically, it allows you to give yourself a little leg up to make sure that your emails aren't being automatically put into someone's junk mail. because if you're going to take the time to send someone an email, you want to make sure it gets to their inbox and not to their spam box. So that's one thing that I recommend is if you do have a domain, make sure you verify it. Otherwise, if it's just a Gmail account or an Outlook account, anything is perfectly possible in here as well too. So then when we go into that domain authentication or the domain verification, it'll then tell you here, these two are still pending because I just updated them yesterday. And then it'll tell you view the pending records. So it'll tell you exactly what to add in here. In FloDesk, your exits and your escapes are typically up here where it's like an escape, the little X button. So you'll click on that. However, when we go into getting up our workflows and everything gets auto saved, which is really nice, where you won't typically find like a save button, but you will be able to see that it is getting auto saved. Then into our branding. So I'm going to give yourselves a couple minutes to basically go in here under your branding, upload your logo. If you have a logo, again, you can change it. So for example, if you have one email that you'd like to send one specific logo out with, then just change your logo, whether it be in that email or across your whole main settings. So you would basically just click on replace logo, go ahead and upload it with whichever logo you'd like, and then it'll allow you to zoom in. So again, the format is PNG, JPG, and GIF. So if you are not familiar with Canva, I know quite a few others had done a free Canva training, so do take advantage of that. Then you have your brand colors. So for example, if you are working with Canva, you can maybe pick and choose your colors from there. And then what you can always do is take those hex codes from Canva. If you're not sure how to do that, just DM me. We can meet up afterwards to kind of go through how we do that. But these would be like the hex codes. Just copy and paste those into there and save those. And again, you have up to 5 options for your brand colors. You don't have to use all of them. It's not required at all. Then you have your company details where you have your company name and your website. Then your company address, and then your social media links. So these are automatically linked at the bottom or at the top of each of the emails that you send out. So I would definitely recommend making sure you go in here and linking each of your social media links. So what you would do is you would go into your Instagram or you would go into your handle, copy and paste that complete URL, and then go in from there and then add that to there. So that way you're making sure that your visibility is there. The next thing is the opt-in. So when you are opting in, you have the option to do a double opt-in email, where if you are trying to start building your subscription list, I definitely recommend not doing a double opt-in, because the double opt-in is once someone clicks, then you get into their inbox and then they have to click another button to confirm, which is nice when you're trying to hone down your mailing list to ensure that you're only getting subscribers that are actually interested in your products and that are willing to take the time to invest to go through those double clicks. But if you're just starting for the first time, I would recommend disabling that. And I'll show you how to do that when we set up a mailing list. But this is where you can go in here and update it. So if you are having a double opt-in, this is kind of what they would see. And you can customize that. You can add different buttons, different blocks, and all of this setup is the same how we would do it for an email or a workflow or for a landing page. So we'll actually get to that when we go into the landing page. And it's nice where it offers you 2 options, where someone is either viewing it via the desktop or via mobile preview. So that way you're able to see exactly what they're seeing before you send it out. We're going to go ahead and hit that back button in the top left corner. Then you have a thank you page. So this is one that I definitely recommend going and setting up. So from your opt-in setup, go into the thank you page. This is just a nice warm welcome that you can share to say, okay, thank you for joining the community. Welcome to our community. Anything that you want to share in a nice warm message with them, just as like a thank you for clicking on the subscribe button. Then we have our integrations. So this is where FloDesk automatically will put in your Instagram feed into your emails if you would like them to do that. And you can connect it up with different Instagram profiles. So for example, this is one that I use for my business as well. So I have that connected. It'll just ask you to authenticate from Instagram as well. And then it'll make sure that it does integrate into your Instagram feed. Then if you have Shopify, this is a great one as well too. So if you're selling things, if you are promoting your products, even if you're clicking on links for them to be redirected to, you can always click and connect your Shopify account from here. Then you have Zapier. So if you haven't ever used Zapier, this is a great one to basically link up all of your contacts, link up different workflows. So for example, if you did use MailChimp before, what you can do is you can set up a Zap to basically say, take all of my MailChimp subscribers and transfer them over to a workflow segment or into a workflow area. So that's where you're able to, even if you still have a MailChimp going and open, this is where you're able to still get those transferred in so that you're not losing out on them. But these are just different ones that they have offered for you. And this is where, if you're interested, we can always do a session on Zapier. So Zapier they offer 5 free Zaps, which is amazing. And I've only been using their free version because I found that I haven't really needed more than 5 Zaps between FloDesk, getting things set up on my website, and other areas. So this is kind of where it's perfect, where you can get away with the free version and create different Zaps for what you're looking to do. Then you have your plan and your billing. So this would be what everyone has there. Then you have the option to share FloDesk. So if you have like a link, you would basically get a referral link or an affiliate link so that you can also share other people to get FloDesk for 50% off. And this is great where if you don't want to be paying full price, which who would, this is a great opportunity to basically be sharing it and get a discount yourself as well with no additional cost to the person that you're sharing it with. So let's get started with the forms. So this is what our main intention for this training is, where we want to set up a form. So what we'll do is we'll set up a form and then we'll go into each of the other 3 tabs that you'll see up here: the emails, the workflows, and then the audience. I'm just going to check the chat. Yeah, no problem, Lisa. What I will do is shoot me your email address. Otherwise, I will find you from the group and I will share across the recording for you. Okay, so when you go into the forms, if you scroll down, you'll see that there are already quite a few forms that are available. You'll see ones that I have already set up, but there are other ones. There's about like 16, or if you're starting fresh, you would probably see about 12 to 15 different opt-ins that are available. So most of us don't have websites because we're either just getting started with our businesses, or we just kind of want to create a landing page for people to basically come to with the link that we've shared out with them. So what you would do is start with this full page with image. This is where it will create a direct link as well. So that way you would share this page link, we'll convert it via bit.ly. So that way it's customized to you and they would just get a landing page to go on to. So if you guys are here in this section, go ahead, and what we're going to do first is we're going to duplicate it. So I don't always like directly editing the templates that they have in FloDesk in case I want to go back and reduplicate it. So those 3 buttons in the top corner of that, it is the full page with image. We're going to click on that and we're going to duplicate it. So we're going to do this together.
So how did you get to the forms again? Because
so when you log in, so you log in, and then if you see at the very top, it says emails, forms, workflows, and audience. So you'll click on forms there.
I don't have that option. I have overview, email, domain setup, branding, opt-in, integrations, billing, share flow.
Okay. That's in the top right corner, right?
Connie,
So should I go to over?
Connie,
Yeah.
click on, this is how I got to it. I clicked on the F on the upper left-hand corner for FloDesk, and it gave me the choices across the top.
Oh, okay.
Thanks, Jennifer.
No problem.
Oh, got it. Okay. Forms. Got it.
All right. So if you guys are in another window, the top left is F for FloDesk. Click on that, and then you'll grab these 4 extra columns here. So once you're in there, we've gone into the full page with the image. For my forms, we're going to click on the top 3 dots in that window. Then we're going to go ahead and click on duplicate. So that way it opens up a new one. Then from there, we're going to go ahead and click on edit.
Zarine, my screen is empty in forms.
Mine too.
Should I click on search or sort or type?
Does it have my forms and then folders?
Yes.
Okay, so if you click on my forms, does anything show up there for you?
No, it's blank. It says we're waiting for your next form in dim print.
Okay. So
but it does give me choices of search, sort, or type.
And then does it give you a button for new form?
And new form.
Okay, so let's go ahead and click on new form then.
Okay.
And then it should allow you to choose a form type.
There, now they're up there.
So then now what we'll select is full page, because the full page will offer us that URL for us to transfer to into a link. So we'll click on the full page, and then we can click on customize it.
Okay.
Connie, did you grab that as well? Customize it? Yep. Okay,
yeah.
Perfect. So once we've customized it, we're going to create a segment. So if you already have a segment set up, so the segment is basically where your mailing list is going to, all those emails and all those names that you're gathering from this opt-in, this is where they will be put into. So if you don't have a segment set up, we're going to just type one in. So go ahead and either do made to do this, or you could create whatever you'd like to call it. So I'm going to call mine made to MTDT training template. Here I'll do training opt-in. And then it'll say at the bottom, it'll give you in the blue with the plus icon, create MTDT training opt-in. I've clicked that, and then it just picks like a new color. And that's like the new segment where all of those emails and the names and your mailing list will start being put into. And then you'll go ahead and click save. So now this is the full form. So if you wanted to click anywhere in here, we're going to start with the space where you're able to upload an image. So if everyone has an image already, grab that and just upload it into that space. So I have an opt-in image that is ready for me here. I'm just going to go ahead and upload that. So in here, you've uploaded at the right side where you may have uploaded your image. Beside the image, it says form. So this is like that main page, that landing screen. So this is where you can go in and use your custom colors, or you can pick other colors. So for example, if I wanted to change the whole background to be green, I can change that just to kind of make it more visually appealing, which white is nice, but it's always great to have that extra pop of color put in. So go ahead and pick any of those colors for the background. And that was basically from under where you had uploaded your image. To the right of that is the form, and then you have your background.
Okay.
And then this is kind of where you can play with it. So once you've decided on your brand colors and what colors you're looking for, you would go ahead and customize it to basically be you. Then in here, any of the text that you see, you can basically type in whatever you're wanting to type in. So I'm going to type in 7 easy swaps. And again, you can basically pick and choose the font. So however you want it aligned, whether you want it as all capitals, the spacing for it, and then the size for the font, and again, the form for the background. So go ahead, we'll give yourselves a couple minutes to go ahead and add in whatever text you're wanting to customize in here. For example, here my image is slightly off, so I need to adjust that. So I'll go back in Canva to just make sure that I am grabbing the whole picture. And then what you're able to see is, for example, in here, if someone opens it up on the mobile website, they don't even see that picture. So it's basically the text. So that's where you want to make sure the text that you're having is enticing for them to go ahead and click and add in their information. So now if we go in here, for example, I'm going to be changing in the first name. If you're wanting to add another item in here, you can go ahead and add in more information. So for the input, there are different styles for the buttons as well too. So then the option under here for the fields, if you're wanting the first and last name, right now we just have the first name selected and then the email address. If you're wanting to capture the last name, you can add in your last name as well too. So depending on what your intention is for using this later on, you may want to capture their last name or ask them to enter their last name as well too. So once their first name or whatever they've typed into their first name, when you're creating emails, you have the option of adding in their first name so that by default, when you say hi, it'll say, hi, Jennifer. And that way it kind of customizes it and personalizes it to make it seem like you're actually talking to that person and not just hi in general and to the general public. So that's kind of where it's always nice make sure you do capture the first name at least. And then the email address is default since it is going to be for your mailing list. And then the message, again, once they've clicked on that, so this is where from this button, from the get the guide one, and from here, you're able to see then what the message is that you want to basically be putting out for them. So from here, you can then say, I would like them to have a thank you message to come up. So that's kind of where, if you click anywhere out on the pink area that I have, like, or anywhere on the main page, you'll see get this message button. So this is where you can either do just a standard, thanks for subscribing, your minimal, friendly, casual, direct, or you can customize it. So this is where you can customize and say, thank you for taking the time to subscribe, or can't wait for you to receive your free download.
If we put the first and last name, will it, when you're sending whatever follow-up, will it then show both names, first and last name? It won't.
It's customizable. So you can ask it to show both names, or you can just ask it to just show the first name.
Okay.
All right, so we'll give you another minute in here, and then we'll go ahead and move on to the next screen. So we have everything in this space to kind of design it and customize what we're looking for. And then now once you've done that, at the top right, it has the button for next. So we'll go ahead and click on the next button.
Uh-oh. Where's the next button?
At the top right, it's like in a light
okay.
gray. You'll see the next button there.
So since I'm in the work computer and I didn't have any pictures there to download, I'm still like playing with it. Then you can't type anything in those boxes, right?
Yes, yeah. So you can save this and then always come back in and work on it. You don't have to publish it out immediately.
Okay.
So then once you've clicked on the next button, you'll get to this customize section. So this is where it'll ask you a few extra questions. So should we enable the double opt-in? So remember how we talked about the double opt-in earlier? This is where it'll tell you here. So no recommended for conversion. So if you are trying to convert new members or get more people to sign up, click that no button. So then we'll click on continue in the top right after that. Then when subscribers opt into this form. So if you're just starting out, it's nice to be notified where they'll send you a notification if someone is new that has opted in. If you're getting tens and hundreds of people signing in up every day for it, I would then check probably the do not notify me or put like a filter on your email so that way it doesn't take over your inbox. So we're going to put notify me for right now. And then after this form is submitted, I usually like to do the display a success message. If you have like a website that you would like to redirect them to, or if you'd like to redirect them to directly to the download, you can do that from there. Otherwise, just the display success message is a great option for that. Then we're going to go ahead and click continue. So then you have your link now. So this is the link that you have set up for FloDesk for them to basically be coming in and using as your landing page. So we'll go ahead and copy that. So if you have Bitly, go ahead and open up Bitly in another window or another tab. And we're going to go into from the Bitly and you're going to go create. You're going to enter in that FloDesk link that you had in here. And automatically it creates a custom back half. You want to go and delete that. And we're going to put it in as, I'm going to call it as, for myself, it would be the belly and beyond. Or I can call it, since the opt-in was 7 easy swaps. Seven easy swaps for toxic-free living. So that's kind of where when people click on it or when they see it, they kind of know what it's for. So customize it to whatever you want, but I always recommend customizing that back half because that's free for you to do. And then you can go ahead and save it. And this title, you can type in a title or you can create a tag, something that allows you to also remember what that's for. So once you're done that, you would then click on the save button. And then now at the top, it has these 3 orange buttons. So you can click on the copy. So now this is what you would be sharing out with other people. So when you are promoting this, whether it is on your Facebook, on your Instagram, this is where you would then share this link with them. So when they go in there, they get redirected to this FloDesk landing page. So this is what they're seeing. So you can then create like a different image for you to promote it from there and have that as your landing page.
And where did we put it on the FloDesk side?
So you don't put it anywhere on the FloDesk side. So this is where you have this link that you've created, the bit.ly link. And I would recommend putting it into, if you don't have your website set up, put it on your Facebook, on your Instagram, send it out to friends and say, I'm offering this. Let me know if you're interested in learning more or getting this free download. So basically start sending out to your customers because it's an easy link. That way they get redirected to the landing page here and they're able to see that option. So if it's not for a website, this is the link that you would basically be sharing out across all your social media platforms for people to be grabbing that. So one tip that I have is if you are on Instagram or anything, what I recommend is your link here. You have a website. It usually asks you when you go into your edit profile for a website URL. So this is where take advantage of this. So for example, I have it going to my website where I have different links. So each person there. What I would recommend is writing something in here about your opt-in and saying why they should click on it, and then linking your opt-in in here. So for example, that bit.ly link that you had, updating it and putting it in here so that way people have that opportunity to link and join into your mailing list or opt into what you're offering. So take advantage of that. Don't ever leave it blank. Put it either as your opt-in, put it as like an email address or anywhere that people can reach out to you for your business. So do take advantage of that. The other options are using like a link tree or a different link provider to basically be able to have multiple links in there. So that way you're able to give people multiple options to basically get a hold of you for different things. So now that we have set up our actual landing page in here, what I want each of us to do is come back to FloDesk. So we're going to come back here and we've published this form. We've been able to see that our form was live. Has everyone been able to publish a form or get something published out or set up at least?
Well, I lost you after you froze the first time. So I was just following you. But I think I did something wrong. I went to where it says your form has been published to the web. So I hope it didn't get published.
Well, it's still published, but you're in control of the link. So unless you share out that link with someone, no one else is going to see it.
Okay. I'm like, oops.
So if we go ahead and click on back on that F that's in the top left corner. And now if we go back to forms, so Connie, if you wanted to go back there and you'll see the forms, you should now see that new full page form that you had created. So you can then always go back in here and click edit and then customize that and change that.
Okay.
And then to grab that link again, it's still going to be the same link that you had earlier. It would be this share page link.
How did you get there?
So from that F on the top left, then you get into your forms. Then if you hover over top of that image, it gives you 3 dots at the top right. You'll click on the 3 dots. So just left click on it and then click share page link. And that would be where you grab your link from.
Yeah, I don't get the 3 dots after. Like I get to where you hit the F and then you got the picture and then the form, the background. But I don't have, it just gives me either next or fields or message.
Okay, so are you able to click on edit to edit your full page form?
Yeah, I was able to do that.
Okay, so if you click on edit, maybe go through the next process, and at the very end where it has published, it'll share the link there as well too with you. Are you able to get into this screen here that I have up?
I did before, so now, right now I'm in forms, my form.
Okay, so if you click on your form, and if you click edit, so then once you get to edit, it'll bring you to this screen here.
It took me, okay.
You're at the same screen, yep. Then at the top right, it has next. You'll basically choose your opt-ins however you'd like and click continue. And then continue again, then continue. And then it'll get to this publish screen where it says your form has been published to the web, and then it gives you a link to copy.
Okay. Which is what I did before I finished.
So you've been able to copy this link? Okay, all right. So then now if you go back into, so that's like the link that you would use, but if you go back in and click that F at the top left, if you then, so say for example, if I just come in here and I see my forms, I don't see any of those 3 dots. Then if I hover over it, so if I just hold my mouse over it, it shows me these 3 dots at the top right. Are you seeing those now?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you see those? Okay, so that's where you can left click and you can either share that page link, you can customize it, you can change your segment. So for example, how initially we had set it up as a segment. For myself, it had been the made to do this, test opt-in or training opt-in. So this is where you can basically customize that. Again, I would recommend renaming it as well. So for example, right now it's labeled as full page form. Change the name to be like 7 easy swaps or something that you're going to be able to remember when you look at your forms to see what the forms are there for. So once you start getting opt-ins in here, in order to analyze where the opt-ins are coming from, you'll be able to see from your bit.ly link as well how many people have clicked on it. But in here as well, this little bar graph here that's in the bottom right of this window, if you click on that, it'll tell you 0 opt-ins. If I go to one of the other ones that I have, so for example, this is one that I had where it'll tell me 4 opt-ins. So it'll give me a little bit more detail as to the opt-ins that have come in and where they've come in from. So that's just kind of an idea as to be able to track for where they're coming in from. Now, if we go over to, let's start with our audience. So what we had was for our opt-ins, we had an audience that was created. So here we have either all subscribers or the segments. So what you would have first, since you would just be starting out, you would have your segments. So this is the segment that I just created, this MTDT training opt-in, where it has 0 subscribers. So if you are wanting to manually add subscribers in, so if you know that someone is on the mailing list, or if you want to add someone in or do yourself as a tester. So if you're going to test it yourself, I would go in from the FloDesk page, type in your first name, your email address, and then get the guide. So then from here, you can either manually add a subscriber by adding an individual, or you can upload a CSV. So if you have a list that you're already wanting to transfer from MailChimp or anywhere else, you would then choose the upload CSV just to make it your life easier. Download the sample because it will then tell you the format that you need to upload the people in. So it'll tell you first name, last name, email address. If you have more details, again, you can add those in. So you would upload that in here and then get those subscribers imported and uploaded. The next thing that you would do is, what I like to do is create a workflow. So you can either create an email first, or you can create a workflow. So if everyone wants to, what we'll do is we'll start with just the workflow. We'll get right into it because we have about 15 minutes left. So I want to make sure each of you guys have a workflow set up so that your opt-in actually has a downloadable file to share out. So if is everyone able to get to this workflows section in here?
Yes.
Yes, okay. So we're going to then click on the new workflow button. Just in case you don't see any workflows in here, we're going to click on new workflow. Then we're going to go in here and see what is your goal. So you can browse all, so you can see all of these. So for example, right now, our main purpose of having an opt-in is as a lead magnet delivery or a sales sequence. We're going to start with the lead magnet delivery because we're going to be offering a freebie, and this just kind of seems like a good template to start with. So we're going to click on that and go view details. Now we're going to go ahead and insert here and customize this. So go ahead and click on that customize button. And now what we're going to do is we're going to start with adding a trigger. So this is where, in order for people to come into this workflow, they have to either be added into the subscriber. So we're going to say a subscriber is added to the segment. Then we're going to add it into this segment, the one that we just created. So this is where you can have multiple workflows for different things. Then we're going to go in here and now customize this email. So this is the email that they are basically going to be receiving after they have clicked on that button. FloDesk automatically puts them into that segment. And then you will then start adding them and mailing them out that freebie. So in here, before you go ahead and even start editing the email, double check that that sender, how we set up those two senders at the beginning. Make sure that the sender email is the email that you want to send this freebie from. Then if any of you guys had watched Kathy's call with the other lady regarding all of the subject lines and your preview text, take advantage of these. So customize this to basically be something catchy, something that will get people to open up their email because they've opted in. So they do want this download. So still kind of take the time to make it catchy and then update the preview text as well. So you have 90 letters here to be typing in. Go ahead and customize that however you wish. Once you're done that, go ahead and click on the edit button for the email. So if you have like an email already, you can either duplicate an existing email or you can create a new email. So if you're wanting to look at other emails, how I deleted that. So if we go back here, what I did here automatically, I clicked on the X button to delete that out. And then now I'm going to go create new email. And we're going to basically choose one of the options or browse all of them. So let's say if we wanted to do, so this was kind of how we had it earlier, but we can also do it as like a welcome. So thank you for joining the list. So pick and choose and customize to whatever you would like it to be. So now if we go ahead and customize that, you automatically, if you had uploaded your logo earlier, you have your logo in here. Then you have your gift. So this, again, any of the text that's here, you customize it to be you. Make it your words, make it something that people can relate to you on. Then again, your pictures, feel free to upload your pictures and download anything. Then again, here you can do an offer. So what you can always do is you can say, yes, I have gone in and clicked on this for getting my free download. So for example, the gift of thanks. So what you can do is instead of the gift of thanks, you can then click on the plus button to click add a button. So this is your button for grab your freebie here. So go ahead in here. You're going to then click on the link. So when you click on that button to get there, so for example, here, if you wanted to put your video directly into it, click on any of these plus buttons and you can add in so many different options in here, whether it is your Instagram profile, a video, a logo, a different layout, your social media links. So what we're here for, our main purpose is to grab your freebie. So you'll want to do that button. Once you're there, once you have your button, you'll click on that so that it gets like that blue highlight so you know you're working on that box. In the right side here, you'll go into that link. So again, if you are having a YouTube video or another Vimeo video or anything else that you want it redirected to, use this URL. Otherwise, you can directly attach and upload your PDF directly to it here. So this is where you can go ahead and click on that attach file and it'll upload it. So that way, when they go into their inbox, they will receive this beautiful email from you. They'll click on that, grab that freebie, and it'll download directly to them. It won't take them anywhere else. It'll just download it there for yourself. So you can either put in other offers. So this is kind of where here, how we'd mentioned where when you're grabbing people's names to customize it a little bit. So this is where you have the option of putting in their first name to customize it and personalize it. So you can either put in their first name, or it says if the first name is unavailable, display friend, or you can type it in to say like, hey, lovely. You can customize it to basically how you would like to greet your end customers. Then you can give them an offer here. Or what I normally like to do is once we're kind of done this email, so I'm going to move on from this email, take the time that you need to come back in here to customize it. But I want to show you the rest of the workflow. So what I like to do is when I have the workflow, the subscriber comes in, then it basically takes them to their email. So the welcome email, and it only gives them the freebie that they came from. Then what I like to do is click on this plus icon at the bottom again. I like to give them a time delay of either 2 days. So I will wait 2 days, then I will do a condition. So I will say, if they've clicked on the email, so the condition that I'm going to say is the subscriber has opened the workflow link or the subscriber has clicked on the link. So for the link, I'm going to say they clicked on that sales welcome link, and this was like the link that they clicked on. So for example, if you had the download, you would select it to say in that email. So in this sales welcome email that you have here, the link that they clicked on would have been that download or whatever link you have as your offer. Choose it as that link and say within 2 days, if they click on that link, then if they do, send them an offer. So this is where you can then say, you can create another email where it is an offer letter. And it can say, I would love to, I hope you enjoyed that bonus round of the free downloads. I would love to offer you to be a part of this community, to join us on a weekly basis for doing arts and crafts or cooking with us. And this is where you can create your workflows to make sure you're keeping them engaged. And this is where you can then target it to say, people that have actually opened up that link and that have actually viewed it or viewed my opt-in, this is where I want to take them. Then you have the option for no. So if they haven't clicked on the link, what you can do is either resend them the same email. So you can duplicate the same mail and say, and then you can just kind of modify it and say, did you get the chance to open up that freebie? Or don't miss out on the freebie, or something that's also engaging them to basically say, oh, I clicked on that freebie for a reason, but I haven't had a chance to download it. So just kind of a reminder. And I find that 2-day gap is nice. So that way it allows them to either have the opportunity to open up the link, or if they've forgotten, it's just like a little reminder to say, I need to kind of come back here. And this is where you can play with this workflow. So once you have, don't publish the workflow or don't put it out until you've completed it. So this is where take the time to go through here, set up your emails, set up your workflow. It should take you less than an hour to do that yourself. And you're basically customizing your emails. So for example, if they say yes, so we're going to go back in and click on create that new email. So now our intention is a little different. So we've offered our freebie. Now our goal is to make money. So we can then say, come learn with me, where it's like an invitation to register. It could be off of a product where you could either be having 30% off the product. And again, these are all different templates. So depending on kind of what your style is, what your vibe is, you can change it. So for example, I like this one where it has like, it's fairly straight, simple, for where it has like, you can put in your logo, put in a picture, and then also be able to say, what is exactly included in your offer? So for example, if we customize this, this then gives you maybe a coupon or something that you're offering people. It will then give them a little reminder to say, okay, I'm offering this to you to use before April 30th for this offer. Then you can include what's included. So if you are doing cooking, you can say, what's included is a 3-hour cooking event with you and your family. Invite up to 5 friends at this price. If you wanted to do an add-on to say, I want to invite 8 friends instead. So you can say additional person on top of those 5 is an additional $25. If they're wanting to do aprons, or if they're wanting to do hats or different cooking utensils or something, there are different add-ons that you can add. And then that way they can either book it, where you can either take them to the Google form that you created earlier. So that way you're able to get something for them to fill in and do that. Or if you have like an Eventbrite link and you already have like a payment portal that you can set up, take them directly to that. So this is where, again, customize it, be yourself, make it beautiful, because this is where FloDesk shines, is in the customization and the beauty that you're able to portray out. So once you've customized all of that, so again, as you click on a block, it then brings up this area on the right side for you to customize it, whether it is for a link or for just for the picture and the image, and you can change these as well. So for example, if you don't want just a picture, you can change it to a different format. So even though you've selected this type of email, you have so many different layout options to pick and choose from, or you can create your own. So we're going to just go ahead and click finish there. But this is where you don't just want to create that landing page. We started with the landing page, which we created here. From the landing page, they click on Get the Guide. Get the Guide dumps them basically into that segment. So from that segment, you then want to give them that gift that you had, or that freebie that you had offering, or it could have been even a monetary value. So this is where they get that gift. Then don't just give them that gift. You don't just want to leave them there. You want to make sure you are following up. So again, do it 2 days or maybe 2 hours, depending on what you think it should be. But I think FloDesk also recommends that you should always put in a time delay, because you want to give that person an opportunity to click on that link and do that. You could even just be saying, if they've opened up the email and not even clicked on the link, you want to do a follow-up. But I recommend making sure that the person has at least clicked on the link. Then you have your conditions, your yes and no, and then you can continue on. So this workflow, you can continue on to be something else. So for example, here, if they clicked on yes, then what you can do is create an action. So you can then add that subscriber to a different segment to say, now that they've moved from the training opt-in, I want to add them now into a new segment to say they are now a prospective customer or current customer. So that way you're able to then also tag each person to know where they are and who to target, because that's kind of what the goal is. You want to know your customer base. You want to know who you're targeting and why you're targeting them. So that way they are getting the maximum value that they are coming to you for. So once you're done that, you would then click on the publish button, but I have not completed everything. So it has like the other actions in here. So we're going to just remove those. But once you're done the complete setup, you would then publish that, and then it would show it as active. So I'm going to go ahead and show you one of the active workflows that I have. So when you're in here, you have, this one is published. So for example, when you click on that, again, you have 3 dots. You can add subscribers manually into that. You can unpublish it so that way it becomes paused. And then if it becomes paused, then basically anyone that gets added to that segment is not going through that workflow. So you want to make sure you're checking this as well regularly to make sure that it is published, it is active, people are coming in and going through that workflow. So for example, here, if I click on the view details, so from that bar graph, you're able to see, okay, so there were a total of 36 subscribers that came into this workflow. 36 all completed that workflow. 27 people opened it and 10 people clicked on it individually. So it'll then give you statistics to say, okay, the average people that opened it, the overall click rate, and then it'll also tell you whether people opened it on their desktop or their mobile device. And that way it gives you an idea to just kind of see the statistics. And then it'll also tell you if it bounced, if it unsubscribed, or someone marked it as spam. So that kind of gives you an idea as well to see, are these actually getting into my people's inbox? So we have that. So that's kind of where we've gone through the forms, the workflows. So when you have workflows, you can market your emails and mark them as favorites. So for example, you can either create individual emails, you can organize your emails into different folders. So for example, I have ones for, I'm doing like a 12-week educational series or for a retreat. So that way all of your emails are categorized into one place to keep them as organized as possible. Or you can always go into the My Emails and see them from here. So for example, in here, if I click on this, it will then take me to the email. So if you are editing an email from here, it does not automatically reflect in the email in your workflow. So that's where you want to make sure you go in and do that. So for example, here, we have just a reminder that there's a first live Zoom call coming up, your first name, and then a button that takes them directly to the live Zoom link. So in here, if you click on that, you'll see that this is the link that it takes them to. So this just gives you an idea, and you can customize everything. You can change your fonts, you can make it you. So that's where I recommend after this session, go in here further, play with it, and follow up and start sending out these emails, because this is such a beautiful space to be able to be creative. And say, for example, if this is an email that you want to create and keep as a template, on the left side here, you'll see this little heart button. Set it as your favorite. So that way, when you go into creating an email, you can always come back and say, okay, this is one of my favorites. I want to use this as a template that I've customized for my brand with my colors. And you can customize it and just call it Fave Default. And then if you have a description, you can put that in there. And that way, when you go in here into your emails, you can then search for your favorites. You can then find in, if you're creating a new email, you would then see your favorites up here. So these would be my favorites that I have set up for different things. So it just gives you an opportunity to be able to customize your own brand. And that's what I recommend. Is there are so many different templates, but they all take time to customize for colors, your branding, how you want your logos to be. So for example, you'll see these two have a different logo than these two emails, and you can change them every email you have, but that's where make sure that you customize them and bookmark them as your favorites afterwards. So that way you're able to come back and grab things to make your life easier. So the last one is the audience. So the audience we've gone through, where we've come up and gone through each of the segments, categorize them. You can change your colors. You can basically customize it. So for example, this one, you want it to be a gold instead of the green, you can change that. So that way you're able to quickly visualize and see, okay, where are the subscribers coming in from, to basically be able to tell you what your groups should be or how you should categorize them and create different opt-ins for each different group or different segment. So if you have one for kids, you could do a different segment for the kids and their parents. If you have one for adults, you could do a different one for adults. So go in here and play with it, because there is so much opportunity in here. And if any of you are wanting to do individual sessions or go over any questions, I may do a Q&A period afterwards later this week, or it'll probably be on Monday. That way you've had an opportunity to go through all of the workflows, maybe set something up, and I'll offer maybe a 30-minute Q&A where you can come back and ask your questions. So I guess, does anyone have any questions right now before we wrap up?
I do.
Go ahead.
So one of my questions is for someone like myself that I don't even have everything set up yet, like to, you know, from logo point, from the point of like a logo and a website. So my focus should be on creating those things first, even before even trying to create an opt-in with this.
So
and attaching.
what I would do for yourself is you don't need the website. So you have that full page opt-in. So when you create your opt-in, you select the full page option. So that way you have that URL to lead people to. So that would be where you would direct people to on your social media or via WhatsApp or however you're connecting with other people. Use the full page opt-in so that people land there. For the logo, you could just even put your name. You don't have, like, if you, because logos sometimes take time to like kind of customize and create. So even just put your name, or if you have your brand of what you're wanting to do, if it's like cooking with Connie or whatever you'd like to call it, if you know what you want to name it, you can just even put that in like a bold font or something very simple. And that way, when you do come up with your logo, you're able to just easily add that in and integrate it. So I wouldn't let any of that hold you back from starting to at least launch your offer out.
Okay. And would you say, with all that being said, that it would be highly recommended to at least do a Facebook? Like if I'm going to use Facebook as one of my platforms to get a Facebook business page as well as Instagram?
Yep. Yeah. So it depends. Like if it's going to be marketed through you with your face and your name branded on it, I would say even start with your personal account. Like if your personal account is public, put it out there, because those are the people that already know you, that trust you, that have that relationship with you, and they would probably be the first ones to opt in. So even without creating like that whole Facebook page and the Instagram business page, you can always upgrade your personal Instagram account over to a business account or a creator account. So that gives you still the insights and the analytics that are offered. And there isn't really any disadvantage to doing that. So I would recommend upgrading maybe your Instagram account to a creator or a business account and then using that. So start with what you have, and just kind of work from there instead of taking the time to create new things. I know it's like, it's hard because you want to get everything set up and right, but it's also just to kind of get momentum and moving, because again, with yourself and your idea, it's all about you, and that's what people are connecting with. So I would start with your personal profile and maybe just upgrade that.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I have a question as far as today I started, let me go into my, I know it's kind of me, but I can't figure out how on FloDesk I have a form that I was building, and
Okay.
I can't find it now. Oh no, it was an email, I believe. Yes. And on an email, if you go into your, can you go into one of your emails?
Yep. Let me share my screen.
Okay.
Okay. So if I go into one of my emails, yep.
Okay. And hit on. The one thing I can't figure out is one of the emails that I am working with to design one, it has an orange background and my colors are blue and green. How do you change the main background?
So when you're in your email, you have like these boxes that you can click
Right.
on. And then if you click anywhere on the white space around it, it'll
Okay.
give you your backdrop color and your canvas color. So
Okay.
those are where you'll want to change it.
Okay. Thank you.
So click anywhere on the white
Not
space.
figure that out.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
You're
That was
welcome.
driving me crazy. And if I added one page, I now have too many pages on it because I looked at the different styles, and now like if you looked below your one page that you've got right there, I've got 3 other pages, but how do I get rid of them?
So if you click on, again, the blue, you have the option to delete it.
Okay.
You can either duplicate it, or you can go into your block settings to change like the background for that specific block setting.
Okay, thank you. Perfect. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
You just saved me a lot of time.
Any other questions that we have?
No, thank you so much for doing this.
All right, you're welcome. Thank you all for joining. I will put out when we're going to do our live Q&A afterwards. It'll most likely be Monday or Tuesday. And that way you guys can add in your questions beforehand, and then we'll just address those at that time. And I will share the recording after this class. So thank you all.
Do you want us just to send our questions to you on chat?
You can send it to me on chat, or just below this event, even you can put in your questions for the follow-up, where I'll probably link up the follow-up Q&A.
Okay, great. Thank you so much.
Zarine.
Yeah.
I do have a question. This is Carla. Actually, I just had met with my pod group this evening, and one of the ladies had mentioned that you were doing this class on the FloDesk, and so I definitely wanted to get in, and that's why I came in late. So I was wondering if you were offering a video for the replay, and how would I be able to get that?
Yes. So send me, if you look up my name in the MTDT class list, so shoot me a message. I will also be putting, I think in the post that I had put on the MTDT group, I will be putting the link for the replay. So that way each of you can access it from there as well too.
Okay. Okay. So going into the group, and then I can look up under your name.
Yes. And then I will also
okay.
remember to tag you. So I'll also find you and tag you in it.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
This is great. Yes. Thank you. I appreciate you doing this.
Zarine, thank you. This is so much easier than MailChimp.
Okay. All right. Have a great night. Have a great day. We'll talk to you guys later. Bye.
Bye.